A very good afternoon from Misano. That caught me off guard. The YouTube preempted the start of the stream a little bit too much, it seems. Good evening, everyone, from the Combox in the UK, and welcome to a very rare circuit in the esports and online racing industry. I think Misano, a circuit first proposed in 1969 and then finished off and renovated finally in 1819 when it was very recently resurfaced with the Blancpain circuit. With the Blancpain Championship coming to the party, which is how it's ended up in Assetto Corsa Competizione. We are in the Bologna region of Italy today, and it really does speak to the nature of this circuit. The flowing kinks coming all the way down to Curva del Carro on the brakes. Your championship leader and championship winner from last season, won the championship having not won a single round of the race. The consistency of Mr. Tristan Di Nobrega was a sight to behold, and bearing the number one, he will have a target painted on his back for sure. Let me get my final adjustment sorted. There we go. Coming out for the first qualifying laps of this Season 2 of Logistical Nightmare Racing's PC, Assetto Corsa Competizione League. Out in the Italian countryside at the moment, it is a blisteringly hot 29 degrees, and the humidity, with this being so close to the western coast of the boot of Italy, will absolutely be causing these drivers some consternation when it comes to perspiration. Just waiting for the first set of times to come through. That orange car is a different livery from what Tristan used last season. I would be surprised if he didn't. I'd be very surprised if he didn't try for a slightly different livery. I did just have the most galling thought that I think I have neglected to import the liveries for this season. Oh, that's awful. We're going to miss out on the banana car, I do believe. I'm very sorry. Where on earth is that file anyway? Anyway. So Absmeyer, a very quick driver in the 666 car, takes the fastest lap to start with, but then he does have a clear track in front of him. I'm sure he will be under pressure when the rest of the drivers start to circulate. We've got a few fast drivers, Barrington Smith and Amerwa, all drivers that we need to keep eyes on, but the 666 car is sitting pretty at the moment, looking pretty as well, in a beautiful blue livery. Heinecker, a very, very strong run last season, has switched from the Porsche to the Nissan GTR. I have a feeling that that is going to be a very, very quick Nissan through the course of the championship, running out as wide as he dare. Coming down into Corsa, I do believe. Not overly familiar with this Italian circuit. That certainly looks correct. Which car do we want to ride on board with for a full lap? Let's have a look at Patterson in the number 7 car. 4 minutes remaining as the banana car of Patterson comes down into the final sector. Final left-hander, there we go, and let's have a ride on board with the BMW of Alan Patterson. Down into this first right, left, right, a very, very modified setup on what the track started out as, a Variante del Paso. I'm hoping that's the right pronunciation. Out of the final sweeping right-hander. On the brakes will be a double right-hander at Curva del Rio. Tightening at first, then opening up. Yeah, next week I will get the liveries, don't you worry. And a quick kink left, very similar to the left-hand kink at Portimao, and onto this not quite straight, then down into Curva Corsa. The camber of this corner makes it so much quicker than you think it is, but when you get it ever so slightly wrong, it makes it supremely difficult to keep it on the track. Curva Tramonto is next, another tricky braking double right-hander, this time a little bit longer on that second apex, allows you to carry a little bit more speed when you have the possibility. Now back onto the back straight, a lot of long straights punctuated by difficult, tricky corners. Curvone was that kink just there. These all seem to be completely unnamed somehow. Big old kick of oversteer from the 64 BMW into Curva del Carro and back on to the throttle round the final two turns for Curva Misano. Pit exit is on the left hand side. We will hopefully be seeing some interesting pit strategies taking place in the course of the race, and with 2 minutes remaining, the 22 Porsche of Stefan Wessels. I'll get my name. Yeah, another missing livery, unfortunately. Where is that file? I might be able to do something clever before the race. Or do I need to be on the Simracing GP site, and that's why I've missed it? That is entirely possible. But with 2 minutes remaining, Stephen Wessels in the 22 Porsche leads the way. Jason Absmeyer in the 666 car has finally been deposed in that Aston Martin. Sean Stridham is alongside in a second Aston Martin. Then championship... Your champion from last season, Tristan Dinabrega, is a lowly fourth at the moment, stuck behind the 38 Porsche, who is significantly further down. He's going to want to clear that before he gets to the start-finish line for the final opportunity that he will have to attack this race course, and he's gotten almost a second to catch. Up the inside at 38 goes Dinabrega. And into the final corner. There we go, a lap completed, and now this is the lap that counts. Will Tristan be able to get the car in shape after following behind that Porsche for so long, and keep the tyres in shape and the rest of the brakes as well for the rest of this final lap? He's on pace with his previous lap times, perhaps going ever so slightly quicker, but nowhere near the second. Oh, as he goes out wide, this is going to be a time disallowed, I would suggest. Maybe that's all she wrote. Mr. Venter will come across the line and go to third. Bentley to the second row of the grid. Heinecker has a possibility of making something happen, but he's running slow. Sean Stridham is going faster, but is not fast enough at the moment to depose Paul Venter from the second row of the grid. Barrington Smith also 4 tenths up, now coming down to the second sector. That's going to be, oh no, end of the third sector. There we go. That's going to be, that's one way to enter the pits. I don't know if Stridham's going to have the pace to be able to do it. He runs out wide, will make for the checkered flag. It waves now and will not go any faster. Paul Venter has absolutely wrung the neck of that 42 Bentley to get that all out in the end. Yeah, I don't... Yeah, this folder isn't right anyway. Some of them are right. Sean's right. Wessels is right. That's a zip file. Yeah, okay. There's some work to be done, so I will have that ready for next week. Yeah. That's a bit of an odd one. For some reason, people have a lot of issues trying to follow the... I didn't press that button. Trying to follow the guides when it comes to livery making in ACC. Fortunately, that won't affect the majority of our grid. So, Stephen Wessels with the pole time for today in the Italian countryside. Jason Absmeyer alongside him as I catch my mouse. If it's not entirely obvious, I do not have a lot of space at the moment. Absmeyer in the 666 car. The 42 of Paul Venter really outperforming that Boatley in third position. Chris Heinecker outperforming the GTR as well in the 96 Nissan. I will start calling it a Datsun at some point. Just get used to that. Sean Stridham in the 394 Aston Martin will start 5th, and 6th will start Tristan Dinobrega. A lot of work for the championship defender to work towards. Etienne Kleb in the 78 Aston Martin is alongside Ryan Barrington Smith, also in an AMR V8. Ryan van der Walt in 9th will start a Bentley Continental in that 959 car. Alan Patterson in what will be the Banana car, the 64 in 10th. Prius will start in 11th. Jensen Van Vuren will start the 488 GT3 Evo number 6 car from 12th. 13th will be Wilfred Robson in another GTR. Neil Greening in an Aston Martin will start 14th. Charles Stein in the number 8 car will start 15th. 16th will be Desmond Pullen. 17th will be Johannes van der Moer in the 67 Lexus. 18th will be Steve Koenig, and pulling up the rear in the 59 Aston Martin V8 Vantage will be a certain Matthew Williams. Great name, great drivers, and some fantastic times to be had. In case you aren't familiar with the setup of these races, the number 1 in yellow beside the car numbers is the amount of mandatory pit stops that the drivers need to make. Now, there's a lot of strategy being played out in this season. Last season, it was a mandatory 4-tyre stop. This season, I don't know as there are is any mandatory servicing that is necessary. I don't think it is. So you need to go into the pit stops. You need to stop at your pit box. However, you don't need to actually service the car, I think. I'm pretty sure, yeah. So I'm pretty sure there is no actual service that is required. So you can just do a stop and go penalty. However, if you're going to be taking that time out, you may as well put some fuel in, or take some fuel out so you run lighter. Or you could put four tyres on anyway, or you could put the 2 outside tyres, or the 2 rear tyres. The possibilities are endless, and we are going to have a fantastic difference of strategy depending on who is feeling confident. The safe strategy absolutely is to go into the pit box and serve a pit stop and then drive straight back out again. But the fresh tyres have made a massive difference in last season and in plenty of races that I've commentated before. These GT3 cars love some fresh rubber, so we may see a lot of tyre changes going on anyway, just maybe not as many as we're used to. Ignore the ghosting, that is ACC being kind to its sim racers and allowing them to form up in an orderly line without having the worry of crashing. I hope that you're all ready, because I sure as hell am not. This is Season 2 of Logistical Nightmare Racing, and it is go when you see the green flag wave. They come across the line now, the lights go green, the Porsche gets a massive jump, the McLaren is going to be looking to the inside of the GTI as they come down into turn 1. That is Heinecker on the outside, looking up the inside of the Bentley. He's going to have the apex. The Bentley goes wide at turn 2. That's going to put him 3 wide between an Aston and the championship defender. That is Tristan Brega on the defensive now, going to lose out to the 78 of Kleb. 42's doing a brilliant job defending that position after being forced out through turn 2. And as the timing screens get thoroughly confused, come on, I can't. They go 3 wide. There we go. Tristan Brega with Stridham. Kleb, Stridham up the inside. It looks like will make. It's not. Yeah, it's. That's not Stridham. Is that Stridham? That is not Stridham. That is Kleb. That is Kleb going for the pass into Tramonto, and will make the pass stick. Is there anything that Barrington Smith can do in that 74 Aston Martin behind? The McLaren's very quick in a straight line, has got a whole lot of stability. I think the Aston Martin had to brake there. Will just fall back behind and will end up losing a position, getting contact from Barrington Smith. No, that's the red car. That will be Stridham then? Stridham's the white car in the 394. All these liveries changing around makes for a awful time of it. Head of the field, the Porsche leads the way in the 22 car, but this happened last season as well. The Porsches are very, very quick, but then lose out. Neil Greening into the pits already. Is that through damage, or is that someone trying to pull some strategy? There isn't. Let me just. I don't see any damage. That is a strategy call. Neil Greening is pulling the pin early as you like, and now you see the strategy playing out, and it's not even the second lap. So lots of action yet to come, and we need to watch that 37 car out the back at the moment, but you can be sure that he is going to be making his way back up the field. All of the action is so close, I have no idea where to look as they will stretch out along this back straight. The Ferrari is a lot quicker in a straight line than the 64 BMW. Is there anything that the Ferrari can do, though, coming down into these right-hand kinks? Not at the first. Maybe under braking. BMW's on the brake significantly earlier than the Ferrari. But this is fantastic defensive driving by Patterson, just keeping the car where he needs to keep the Ferrari behind at the moment. Rain light on for Jensen Van Veren. And at the top of the field, the fight over the final podium place is between the Bentley number 42 of Paul Venter and the 96 car of Chris Heinecker in a Nissan GTR. Now, how many times have you seen the GTR running at the front of the field in any of these GT3 races? It is so far out of balance of performance, but Chris Heinecker really being the king of speed that he is and holding his own just off that podium place and keeping the McLaren 720S of Tristan de Nobrega right behind him. Very, very honest at the moment. Jarrett Van Vuren has gotten past the 64 car then, or has fallen back into the clutches of the 959? Yes, I think that was, yeah, that may have been an attack. That went ever so slightly awry. I don't have 2 instances of the game open to be able to show it, unfortunately. But this is so close. Look at the split times there at the moment. Only a couple of them being above a second. And this is about to get very, very complicated as well, as Heinecker has Tristan de Nobrega for company, but also is trying to put pressure on Paul Venter. That Boatley is wide, and Mr. Venter is making it even wider. Behind, the McLaren goes to the outside. The GTR is going to go defensive. Can he make it stick around the outside? God, is that shades of Monza? The McLaren of de Nobrega takes the mature path and lives to fight another day as a result. However, Stridham has seen that moment of weakness from the defending champion and will try to make his way or make some inroads into that position, potentially trying to make an attack. The Ferrari is pulling back up to the back of the BMW again, but this is where the Bentley seems to be a little bit slow, just off of that left-hander at Corsia, back to the... I'm on exactly the wrong... Oh, I'm in the right place. That was out of Tramonto. And then down towards Cavone now. Now, we've seen the McLaren be blisteringly quick in a straight line. How is that... How are the GTR and the Bentley in front trimmed out? I'll put the eyes on Mr. Heinecker, as he is the middle car in this battle. A very late apex taken by the number 1 car is going to push him right to the outside. He could possibly get a cutback if he's good on the brakes. He's having a look. He's having a nose. It's not going to happen. He backs out of it again. A lot of half little attacks, but what he's done now is he's separated the 96 car from the battle in front. That means that the 96 can concentrate on defending rather than attacking. In the pits is Absmeyer, Stridham, Williams. Greening is in the pits again for some reason. Pulling into the pits as well. Lots of pins being pulled very, very early in this race. A twitch from the number 1 car will put paid to any kind of attack that he was hoping to get. Another one as well. It looks as though... Let's have a look on board with the reigning champion on the brakes in through that lovely curved corner at Corsia. And what's the car doing under braking? Looks very neutral, very happy underneath the hand, just a little kick of oversteer. That can absolutely be quelled with traction control, but you want that slight slip on the rear axle to help the car get pointed in. Mr. Wessels, meanwhile, 5 seconds is the lead at the moment. And into the final sector they come. Patterson still on the defensive, but now has a different car hounding him as the 959 has made its way past the Ferrari of Van Vuren. Perhaps the Bentley's starting to come on song, which doesn't bode well for those drivers chasing Paul Venter in the 42 Bentley. Absmeyer took a very, very early stop. That was what caused what's caused Paul Venter to rise up to second position. So, does Absmeyer think that he can get some clear air? He did have 17 seconds to the next car. So plenty to be getting on with here. Don't know when this Bentley made its way past, but we're going to have a look and see. And this is how it happened. Right on the money. So the Ferrari was in front, but the Bentley just got better drive out of Tramonto and will take the inside line clean as you like. Lots of space being given by both these drivers, and through the tighter apex the Ferrari just can't hold on. Bentley looks as though it's starting to come into its own as it comes towards the BMW now. They are starting to pull away from the Ferrari. Very different lines being taken here. There's still lots of racing left to go. Not to mention, there is the number 1 car right up underneath as they come across the start-finish line. The 96 car of Heinecker. That number 1 car is getting not angry. Angry is the wrong word. It's getting hungry. Meanwhile, Absmeyer is going to have to hope and pray that the 67 Lexus is preparing for the arrival of an Aston Martin, because he is closing down on that 12th place car very, very quickly. We could see the 666 car go to the top of the timing screens and to the top of the... As the McLaren gets the inside line, the track comes back towards the right, so this isn't going to be a pass made, but if you can just get the 96 to have a little bit of a worse exit, but the 96 parks it on the apex, no space for the number 1 car to go. Brilliant driving by Mr. Heinecker, as always, flashing his lights for Di Nobrega. This is nail-biting stuff as they go through all of the fast kinks down towards Curva del Carro. Big old kick as the number 1 car tries to cut the corner even tighter than the 96 does. Let me have a look very quickly. That gap looks okay. This is where he's going to do it. He gives a nudge, or as near as anything to a nudge, to the 96 car, and Chris Heinecker gets the message and will dive into the pits and unleash the number 1 car to make some headway towards the 42 Bentley. 64 car still defending against the 959. Brilliant driving by both of these. Again, some fantastic defensive driving going on through the course of this race, and Heinecker looks as though he's taking slightly more service. Which is, as he's down off the stands now, where is he going to pull out of the pit lane? Oh, this is so awful. Where's Absmeyer? Absmeyer is still miles away. But that's such a long pit lane. That's such a long pit lane. That's awful to be sat there for so long. Stridham will take the position. Absmeyer is gone. He is so far gone in this fight. And he has now made his way. Is that Van der Merwe? No, it's not. But that is the 59 that has just run really, really wide. Matthew Williams, sorry. Who is struggling down in 18th, just can't get together with that Aston Martin. Coming across the line though, the fight over what is currently 5th position into turn 1. The BMW will defend against the Bentley. It just seems as though these two enormous actual GT cars just are so well matched that it becomes a little bit complicated when you're trying to perform overtakes. Oh, as Patterson gets it wrong. So much pressure for so long, and he just loses it under pressure. We have to have a look at that from a different perspective. 64 car. And here's the thing, this is nothing against Patterson. He's a fantastic driver and he's proven that today already. He proved it last season. But after being on the attack for so long, or after being attacked for so long in that out of BOP, BMW is just going to cut really, really tight. And the second, oh, it's 2 wheels on the grass. That's what did it in the end. And then will spin. Beautiful pirouette. Mr. Patterson, well done. But absolutely stout drive through the early part of this race. Dino Brega will be lapping a Porsche. Which Porsche is that, however? Because there's 3 down the back of the field. Not that one. I don't think that was a pass for position. I think that was... yeah, that was a car being lapped. This is when the cars start to be lapped, that's when it gets very, very confusing. Because you have things like this, where Stridham looks like he's really close to a competition, and is not really. The gaps have opened up a bit, but bear in mind that all of that lower half of the field is going to fit into the leading group somewhere. And I think the man to watch predominantly here is this 666 car. Jason Absmeyer has had an acre of space with which to run clean lines and get the car where he wants it to be. But I genuinely think there is a challenge here for the lead that Stephen Wessels may not necessarily have seen or thought of to cover off. What is the overall... no, it's all a little bit of a mess, unfortunately. But Van der Merwe, who has not pitted, is now a mere 6.7 seconds. So Absmeyer is taking more than a second a lap still out of the pace of the 67 car, and that's no mean feat at all. Really is astonishing pace that Jason's got today. What else do we have going on? Barrington Smith has not got the Bentley for company just yet, but remember, all of the top 10 still have to make a pit stop. All of the top 10, in fact. I wonder if these guys are all going to look to take tyres and make up the difference through the remainder of the race. We're just approaching halfway through the race, with 25 minutes to go. And speaking of Aston Martin down the back of the grid, Desmond Pullen trying to put a manoeuvre on Stephen Koenig, all while needing to get out of the way for the lap up cars. 959 is going to slide up the inside of the 15, and this might actually be an opportunity. They say as the 38 jumps out of the way, we'll pull him behind. I don't think that Koenig realised there that that was a car for position. He is going to be feeling robbed of that 16th position, I dare say. And there, it finally confirmed on the timing screens. That Porsche looks really good on the brakes though. Really good. As battle becomes rejoined for the potential podium positions, we still don't know where the rest of these drivers are going to fall into place. Heinecker has dropped to 4th. Oh, that's a shame, Matt. No, totally understand, but really unfortunate that you've been having a poor time tonight. We have been noticing you've been in the pits. Was it just not being able to keep the car on track, or is it just... Where is that man? There we go. If you want to come and have a chat, just jumping the waiting room in the Discord, and we can have a very brief conversation. It will have to be very brief as the gap continues to come down for second position on the road at the moment. Dino Brega is somewhat of a force of nature in that McLaren. Looks absolutely wonderful from the rear end. Really has an old school bruiser of a GT car. Bentley goes defensive, will drag its bum away across the curbs on the inside because you don't feel the curbs in the Bentley. Bentley runs wide. Mr. Venter finally runs out of skill after running a peerless race, much like the BMW of Patterson, the 64 car. Finally proves that he is human and can make mistakes, but that has been an astonishing run by Paul Venter. And now what can Dino Brega do about that 9.7 second gap to the leader? Now, I like the McLaren, so I am ever so slightly biased here, but let's just take a couple of minutes to enjoy this McLaren audio and see what he can do about that gap to the leader. Having sat on board and relished that lap by the McLaren, the gap still hasn't come down. What is that 22 Porsche running on? And the gap, again, saying about Paul Venter running out of skill, it's absolutely not him running out of skill. He is still within a second. Just fallen behind a second. There we go. Of the... Oh, here we go. This is now the 666 car trying to make his way through the back of those who haven't pitted. This is where the charge of Absmeyer might be brought to a halt. Van der Merwe has fallen Next on the list will be the 764 of Wilfred Robson. And how long is that going to take? You can just see in the background of all the shots, the Nissan GTR. But my goodness, what a drive from Absmeyer. It looks so calm and serene as well. I wonder what the attitude of the car is if we go on board with Absmeyer. A lot of lock being put in through there, and a lot of feeling the car. It looks like, I don't know. Yeah, you can see that. There's a lot of feeling the car going on here. To get the performance out of these what will be aging tyres now, assuming they haven't changed in the pit stop. Oh, I absolutely don't know what to make of this race at the moment. I said that the strategies... I was going to say I don't remember Absmeyer being in a Aston Martin before. Big kick of oversteer. He has got that brake bias set very far back. I wonder if that's where this speed is coming from for the 666 car. We'll have a look on top for the approach to the 764. That looked like it was a very sideways Aston Martin for a second there. 24 minutes remain. We have 9 drivers left to take a pit stop, and Absmeyer is about to try and attack one. No reason for the 764 to get out of the way, but has no choice, as the Aston has so much more speed than the GTR that he'll just drive straight past. Astonishing pace. Tristan Dinnebrega into the pits and back out again. The Ferrari of Van Vuren will drop into the pits as well. How far down is Tristan going to fall? Heinecker is in front already. Stein is... oh my goodness, so there's been a significant loss there for the championship leader. I dare say there may be an undercut meta at this track specifically. My goodness, I was not expecting to see such a difficult strategy decision being made. So the championship leader, who was running in, let's say, 4th to 5th, has dropped down as far as we can see to 6th position. Drive through for Ryan Barrington-Smith. Heartbreak for the Audi driver from last season, switching to Aston Martin. Perhaps not working out in that 74 car for the time being. That is going to be for track limits, I would suggest. Big old floating understeer, and he's going to get out of the way of Van der Waals in the 959. I wonder how long these remaining 8 drivers will sit on this track and wait. He's going to get it done now, isn't he? Yep. Barrington-Smith into the pits. What a quick pit entry. Van der Merwe now. Is that actually under pressure? That is Sean Stridham. Just getting past. Completely different strategies at this point. Van der Merwe still has yet to serve his penalty. This really has shaken up the grid, something chronic. Janeman Pruis in the 7 Porsche, putting pressure on Gerrit Johnson van Vuren. Porsche looking a lot more stable in this midpoint of the race than the Ferrari. We all love the sound of a Porsche. I don't know if you agree or not. Jump on board and see what that 7 car is looking like. Not confident to go right to the outside there unless he doesn't feel the need to, and breaking really interesting lines in to Del Caro. And 7, yes. They were a lot closer than they are now. I wonder if there might be some tyres on that number 6 Ferrari. He was just trying to pull up to temperature. Mind you, this is going to get very complicated now as well, as they come up to number 8 Bentley. So this is a battle for position. It is. Charles Stein under pressure from the Ferrari on the brakes. Can the Bentley do anything about it? He's going to turn into the corner and will give the position away. Big old kick of oversteer from the 6 car, but that doesn't matter. He's got the throttle down and is away. I wonder if that traction control is set a little bit too high on that Bentley. Porsche will be next to try and attempt the pass. But the Bentley just about has enough speed to be able to stave off the attentions of the 7 car for now. In the pits for Barrington Smith, having served a drive-through and now will have served his full pit stop, whatever that ends up being. Unfortunately, we don't have the information for that. You can hear in the background that was Barrington Smith accelerating away. He is going to fall so far back. Big kick of oversteer for Stein. And that's all the invitation the Porsche needs. Is going to brake on the outside, just narrowly misses being T-boned. And now what can... Oh, good man. Williams is back on. There we go. Williams back on circuit using the Garage 59 livery. Let's see what he's concerned about. It looks as though he's driving with a controller and is trying to take way too much speed through all the corners. As the Bentley for company, I think as long as he gets onto a straight and then pulls to one side to let those drivers through, he should be having no issue whatsoever. Yeah, that's trying to outdrive the car, I think. Well done for getting back out on track, my friend. Pulls right off to the outside of the track. Good man. Well driven. Will cut back to the inside to get as much throttle down as he possibly can. It does look as though he's just carrying far, far too much speed into all the corners and getting a massive armful of understeer. As we've all had to learn, you don't get the best out of the car by wringing its neck, generally. Yep, great to see him back out on track though. I genuinely think that's a controller. Now, if Mr. Williams does end up watching this back, for your information, the faster you come in the faster you go into a corner, the slower you'll be out. And it feels as though you are trying to take way too much speed into corners, and that's unsettling the car. Yeah. A bit of driver coaching. Meanwhile, elsewhere on the track, having done all of that, very different perspective for the Nissan GTR. That was very strange. Heli camera over the track as Mr. Heinecker is going to try and outdo a Lexus in a Nissan GTR. I don't know how this battle's going to go, because it's a straight line under brakes. The GTR's very confident, but the 67 tried to turn in anyway, was not paying attention to the Nissan that had made a dive up the inside as we passed the 59 car as well. Yep, truly is fantastic to see drivers carrying on though, and just getting back on the circuit and trying. He's pulling under pressure. No, that's a car that is laps down. Greening is going to have a similar issue. Yep. As Dino Brega, what does Dino Brega have now to car ahead? Quite a bit. All the gaps have seemed to have spread out a bit. Bear in mind, we still have 4 drivers who haven't pitted yet. Van der Merwe, I'm shocked that he hasn't pitted yet, because he's fallen back into the drivers who have pitted. That seems like a really strange... Yeah, Absmeyer, I was going to say Absmeyer is terrifying at the moment. That Aston Martin looks like an absolute weapon. And I think it's not going to be too long before he's within striking distance of the 64 car. I'm going to do this again because I really love having onboards. Let's have a look. Bear in mind, this is the same car. It's the same car as Matthew is driving and struggling with. And yes, setups change, etc., etc. I'm not discounting that at all. But look at the entrance speeds and the general attitude of the car. Yeah. 8 minutes. 8 minutes for the drivers to get into the pits. Let me make that very clear. Into the pits. They don't need to be out of the pits. They just need to be in, as the 64 car is going to... the 64 car is going to steal a fight over third position from us. Van der Vault into the pits and back on his wheels, but is going to lose second position now, as the 666 car is already well and truly gone. There we go. Van der Vault still in the pits here. Now what's interesting, so Venter is through. That's back to third position for the 42 car. Incredible driving, and I do mean impeccable, fantastic, wonderful, poetic driving from that number 42 driver. To get that Bentley to where it is astonishing pace. As Patterson comes through, who is next in line? So Wessels is up. Oh, Wessels is a lap ahead of the 64 car. But this is all for Naus at the moment, because Wessels still hasn't pitted. He's got 6 minutes left. He's got perhaps 3 laps. 3 laps tops in which to get into the pit lane. And that 64 car is not letting him have it easy. As commentator Cat has entered the studio as well now, because he's probably hungry. what was going on here. Stein up on the back of Pruis, so this battle still hasn't necessarily drifted away from each other. They're just toing and froing on similar pace. The last driver to pit will be the leader. What a nail-biting conclusion to this first round of the second season. I thought that the strategies were going to be a little bit different. I didn't think they were going to be this different. Pit window closes in 5 minutes and 30 seconds. 59 car is off on the outside, and I've pressed the wrong button. There we go. This is your closest battle on track at the moment. What's Wessel's doing? Oh no, what is he doing? 5 minutes remain until the pit window closes. 10 minutes remain in the race, and what is the gap? We don't know what the gap is. I only have one option that might help. It's that one, and the 666 car is nowhere to be found at the moment. And I do mean at the moment. When is that 22 car coming into the pits, and where is the 666 car going to meet it? Oh, this is heart in the mouth stuff, as the rest of the field jostle amongst themselves to find themselves a bit of air to drive towards the finish. No, Matt, you did absolutely well. Out of interest, are you driving on a controller? The 50-second gap, that's not enough. No, it is enough if he just comes into the pit lane and drives back out again. Oh, this is incredible. This is going to be so close. Oh, this is going to be so close. Into the pits goes the 22 car. We are watching the 666 car. He's already off his jacks and rolling, but how long is the pit lane? Let's go to the helicamera. Do you see the Porsche in the pit lane besides? Is this going to be the point at which the 666 car takes the lead? Oh, I don't see a Porsche. He's out. Wessels is out. I'll come back to you in a second, Matt, don't worry. But this is your battle for the lead. Wessels has just kept the lead of the race, but absolutely has all of the work to do, as the 666 car, with all of the heat in the tyres and the brakes, will start hunting him down. 4 seconds is the gap, and what a sudden turn of events. The 666 car sees the victory, and what can he do? Barrington Smith on the back of Patterson now. 74 Aston Martin has had issues through the race, as the Aston Martin gets it all very, very, very wrong. Pruis with Stein up behind. This battle that has been going to and from throughout the course of the race. The Bentley will look to the inside. Porsche gives him room, which is very gentlemanly, but will have the inside line for the second part of the corner, and that gives him a fresh approach to the exit. Coming back to what you were saying, Matt. It looks as though you were suffering from a lot of understeer, which yeah, Sean's Shark is absolutely spot on. It looked as though you were having a lot of understeer, and you were taking too much speed into the corner and unsettling the car by scrubbing the front wheels. What you need to do is brake earlier, go through the corner slower, and then nail the throttle earlier to get the car rotated and get it nailed towards the exit of the corner. If I had time, have a word in the LNR Discord, because there are people who are way faster than me who will be able to give you a full rundown of everything you need to do. But no, you're absolutely fine. I run on a G29, so I totally feel you when it comes to the hardware. It's just a little bit of patience, and it seems as though you're trying to drive a car with a lot more aero than you have in this GT3 car. Dino Brega on the back of Chris Heinecker as well. It's all coming good with 5 minutes and 30 seconds remaining, and if you look at the gap between first and second, it is coming down as well. It was coming down. It's gone up now. Dino Brega to the outside into Curva Quercia. Can he get a cutback? He's definitely got the traction, but the run up here is nowhere near fast enough or long enough for the McLaren to stretch its legs. This may be the pass for 7th position, however, not what Dino Brega will have wanted for the first round of his defence, but that's all he can do. The GTR is... Oh, that was a bit of netcode, that looked like. Oh, big brakes! And contact made. Just not quite. It looks as though that Nissan is not quite as hooked up as the number 1 car is. Meanwhile, further down, that will be the battle, ever so slightly stymied for the time being. This battle, however, the Aston Martin very much hooked up at the moment. The BMW is starting to look a little bit its age as it runs out to the outside of the track. The 74 car is going to try and get a cut back as it has more front end grip. Has a look up in the inside into the final corner. Is he going to sit there? Is the BMW going to give him space? He does give him space, but coming out onto the start-finish straight, it doesn't matter because he's been able to have a higher apex speed. Coming down into turn 1 now. 74 car looking to the outside. 64 on the inside. Can the 74 do what the 64 did just now and keep the position? No. He's running out of time now to make this position. Runs around the outside, still side by side, coming down now into Curva del Rio. This is slowing both of them up, but it really doesn't matter. This is incredible driving, very respectful from both of these very seasoned drivers. You might have your ABS turned up too high as well. That's another big issue. BMW runs wide. The BMW runs wide. He won't concede the position just yet. But that is not good for the health of the 64 car. 64 car's tyres. Getting out on those marbles on the outside is not good at all. Through Curvone they come. And that Aston Martin is just looking as though he's backing off. It's going to be pushing for a run. He's not got very much longer to make this happen. But that is not going to help either. Getting majorly balked on the inside of the third to last turn. Now onto the start-finish straight. Can he get a better run this time and make a more decisive move into turn 1? The gap is 3/10 across the line. BMW goes right across the rumble strips across the inside. Astonishing that the car can take that line. Looks as though Heinecker and Tristan Dino Brega have gone back again. The Aston tries to look up the inside. It's not happening yet. But you feel as though there might be an attack coming next time around for these drivers. Alongside goes the Aston Martin, as in another battle there is going on up the inside. The BMW can't do anything about it this time. The straight line of speed of the Aston Martin just enough to overcome the BMW. Speaking of straight line speed, the McLaren is going to once again try desperately to get past this Nissan GTR. Again, Heinecker has put up such a stout defence through the course of this race. Brilliant driving. Now a little bit more conscientious of the pace of that Nissan. is the reigning champion, and looks as though he's being a bit more careful. This is going to be the final lap of the race, I would suggest, so very much not much longer for the McLaren to make the move. Not going to happen through there at all. GTR is just putting the car where he needs to, is Heinecker, to keep the car behind. Where is the race leader? Oh, is that the position made? No, because it goes to the left now, and the 96 will keep the position. Does the McLaren have the straight line speed to be able to make it to come back? No, he doesn't on the brakes. The Nissan is very good as well. Where is that 22 car on the track? It's going to be 2 laps. Over and under they go. The McLaren has the inside line, but that will become the outside in just a second. So 2 more laps, 1 more lap after this one, as the McLaren looks around the outside. The Nissan has the inside line, has the traction to get off the corner, and the McLaren has to dip back in line. This is as close as he's ever been, closer than the previous lap. And now he has to be super careful. Does Dimmelberger on the brakes again, just in line with 96. 96 runs wide, and this is the opportunity the number 1 needs. Can he get it stopped? Yes, he can. The 96 will fall into line, and that is 7th position gained, just in the nick of time for the end of this incredible race. Further down the field, the 8 car has fallen away from the back of Pruis in the number 7 Porsche and has fallen into the clutches of the 764 Nissan GTR, and is losing tenths of a second. This will be... Actually, will this be... There we go. Will this be the checker? No, because he's not gone past yet. Cool. This will be the final lap of the race. And this will be the final opportunity that the 764 has to make any kind of dent into that 13th position that the number 8 Bentley currently has. All of these really, really big cars going at it. It's wonderful to see. But out onto the first of 2 back straights. Big old kick of oversteer, as Wessels, in a world of his own, will take the victory. We, I do believe, missed some donuts. This will be Mr. Venter doing some lovely donuts for us. There we go. Thank you very much, Paul. That's great to see. Are we going to get a yellow Bentley doing some donuts as well? That would be incredible to see. I am keeping an eye on the battle over 12th and 13th, but it doesn't seem to be much going on there anymore. I think that's as far as they're going to get. And back to the pit lane. Let's just have a look at Stein and Robson as they come through the final sector. Lots of checker flags. These guys are going to be the last drivers to come across the line. So the last to be lapped, and they will keep that position for the end of the race. So your final classifications will be Stefan Wessels to the top of the podium for the first time this season. It's the first time out. Narrowly missing out on it will be the 666 car of Jason Absmeyer, and third and first into our com box will be Mr. Paul Venter. First race of season 2, and a 3rd position podium for the banana car. How's that? How's that for your expectations?
better than what I expected. I went into the race and I thought, well, top 5, I'll be happy, but I'll take a podium any day.
Absolutely, and it was a hard fought for podium as well. Good grief.
Yes.
I think we saw one mistake from you, and I do mean one mistake for the entirety of the race, and you have been under pressure. You were under pressure the entire time. I don't think there was a single point at which you didn't have some kind of car either bearing down on you or trying to attack your flank.
Yeah, no, definitely. I was at one where I did a half Superman, will we call it? But yeah, it was good. I was worried about Jason when he took that early pit stop, because then I thought, okay, that's going to possibly come back to bite us in the end. So I jumped in a bit earlier than what I wanted to, but I'm glad I did, because I just got out in front of Sean, and then it was to just keep that spot there. But yeah, I'm happy, man. It's a great race. One of my favorite tracks, and only 2 track limits.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolute fantastic.
Yeah, 100%. And you say it's one of your favourite tracks. I've never heard of this track before I started commentating in ACC. What is it that you love about the track then?
It actually comes from console when I was on console side. So there's a community called SOP, and
I know SOP.
Yeah, this was the first track in the rain where I finished in the top 4, top 5, and kind of from there on, I was just quick at this track. And when you're quick at a track, you tend to love it, and I seem to work well when it comes to chicanes and track limits and hopping over some bollards and stuff, because I'm good at Zolder as well. So I think that's where the happiness comes from and the enjoyment of the circuit.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So what are your thoughts when it comes to the rest of the season? You think this pace is going to be maintained, or is this just your circuit that you are feeling really, really comfortable in?
Well, straight answer, hell no. I am good in the wet, even if I have to say that myself. I love the wet. I am good in it. On Discord, my name is the Rainmeister, so there's a reason for that. I'm quite decent in the wet, and I was watching Absmai and Donkey's pace, and I was matching their pace. Especially, I was quicker than Absmai in the second half, and Donkey, when I wasn't making silly little tiny mistakes, I was matching him 0.1, 0.2, from his time. So the only track where I think I might battle is Suzuka. Other than that, I do believe I should be on pace. The boat will be flying, and the banana will be, well, it will be splitting the grid. That's it.
Excellent. Your livery wasn't on the car tonight, unfortunately, because
we'll sort it out for the next one.
No. It'll be. I look forward to it. We've only got a week to wait, thank goodness. So there'll be lots of time to appreciate it. Paul, congratulations! What awesome. A way to open the season, and I look forward to hopefully speaking to you again. You have a lovely evening, my friend.
So too. You too. Thanks, man. Cheers.
Yeah. Next into the com box, we're kind of doing this in a really weird order, but I'm assuming this is a certain Mr. Wessels.
That's correct.
That is fantastic to hear your voice finally. How on earth are you doing, my friend? Congratulations on taking the first round victory with a very, very odd strategy for the pit stop.
Well, I read the rules incorrectly, so I was still practicing on last season's rules where you could do a tire change, which meant that you basically use a lot less fuel, because if you have to do a tire change, you might as well do fuel.
Yep.
And I basically didn't do a lap on fairly full tank, so today was very interesting for me. I just put a whole bunch of fuel in and I went.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I actually put a bit too much fuel in, but that's all right.
It's better to have too much than too little.
That's true.
100%. Were you aware of Absmeyer hunting you down?
Yeah, I saw he put it early, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm just going to drive my race now. Get into a rhythm, which I didn't really get into because there's actually quite a bit of traffic. Yeah, so I had some interesting moment. Two cars coming out of the pits, making contact in front of me.
Oh, good grief.
Yeah, it was quite interesting. And yeah, lap 1, fast right hand at the bottom, went wide. And I got 2 track cut penalties in one go.
Mm-hmm.
The very next lap, I got another one. So I was basically from there on to be so gentle around that turn. But yeah, it's cool, man. I just tried to not get any more penalties, and I didn't know I honestly thought Absmeyer was going to come out ahead of me. Yeah, so I was quite surprised to see him a little bit behind me.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, we were all rooting for, well, both of you really, but no, seeing the Porsche at the top of the time at the top of the podium is great to see, because it's such a unique car. I love it. I absolutely love the GT3R. What was the thinking behind your choice for this season?
Basically started playing a bit of the Porsche just in midway through last season, but I didn't really do many races. I just did the last 2 races of last season.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, since then I've just been playing around with the Porsche and I'm loving it more and more. It's got its quirks. I mean, it's an interesting car. It can be fast on 99% of the lap, and then at 1% it will completely kill you. So it's all about compromises, getting the car to work the way you want it to work, and obviously learning to drive it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I enjoy it. It's a good driver's car. You really have to drive it. You can't just sit back and take it for a cruise.
Yeah, of course. No, I I'm just looking in the Discord, and there's some very interesting comments going on. Yes, the Porsche, absolutely unique vehicle. If you ever get an opportunity to drive one in real life, can confirm they handle just as uniquely. They're wonderful, wonderful cars. But no, great to see it at the top of the podium. Do you think you can maintain this pace through the rest of the season? There's a lot of different tracks coming.
Yeah, Suzuka was dry. I wouldn't have minded too much. Suzuka and the wet, different story. The other thing is, I basically set up my car so that I don't care about my rear tires, because last season we could have changed tires. So this race was like, okay, I can't change tires. It was a bit tricky.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to rework some of my setups going forward. But in any case, yeah, Suzuka and the wet's going to be interesting. I'm going to have to play around setups again. I haven't really done much with this car in the wet. What's after that? I know Laguna, Alton Park, that's all not too bad for the Porsche.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, so that's cool, man. Fun. It's nice also to race it on tracks that's not normally Porsche friendly, tracks like Spa and things like that.
Yeah. Well, if I can let you in on a little secret, if you raise the ride height on the Porsche, you get a ridiculous amount of traction compared to the rest of the cars, because obviously the engine's all the way back. I put money on seeing that Porsche being very, very fast out at Suzuka. Good luck hanging on is all I'll say.
Yeah, yeah. The Porsche, you can't ride Dignas. You die when you touch a Digna. So.
No, yeah, of course. Yeah. But
you can ride a Digna, but then the car won't turn. So.
Yeah. You have to get the car to where you want it to be before you get to the curb, basically. No, I've been there. Believe me, I've been there. I know that experience well. Stefan, it's wonderful to have you in. Congratulations on the win, and hopefully we see you to be just as competitive out in Suzuka next time out.
Cool, man.
Have a lovely evening, my friend.
I'm gonna go watch the stream now.
Oh, good luck. See you, mate.
All right. Cheers. Bye.
And I do think that is about that. I can just about, if I'm very... I think that was the server restarted. Yes. Yes, which means that if I do a very quick navigation and do an old refresh, maybe... Nope. Nope, it hasn't quite been updated yet. That's a shame. Oh well. I won't be able to give you the championship points, but needless to say, let me see if I can do it a little bit ham-fistedly. Nope, it's not. Stephen Wessels will lead the way nonetheless, and Absmeyer will be in second. Paul Venter will be in third. Sean Stridham will be in fourth. Let me just do this properly. Standings. That one. And that one. And there. There we go. So that is your finishing order for this particular session. That took a little bit too long for me to do, unfortunately. But we look forward to the next round out in Suzuka. Really going to be a super interesting race in the wet conditions as well. Thank you very much for watching. It's been excellent to be back in the Combox with Logistical Nightmare Racing. And until next time, have a very good evening wherever you are, and as always, be excellent to each other. Have a lovely evening. Goodbye.